I will go live on YouTube. I will choose an account and I will go to I will try to go live from Zoom while being in Zoom and also recording to the cloud in Zoom and at the same time stream live to YouTube. So I have both. This seems to be working properly, which is nice. And it says the third party, so everyone is aware. And then probably what I'd like to do, have you ever done a podcast, Sophie?
No, I've never recorded myself on a podcast.
Okay, so we'll do later on, what we'll do is maybe after the break, we'll also do for a project, we'll do podcasts too. So basically, when we do a live stream from Zoom to YouTube, we also can do, will be another tool in our tool belt is to do podcasts. So we can do that as part of be nice to do part of we can make playlists from a number of recordings and create then podcasts and basically have RSS feeds, and you never know what will happen out of that. Okay, so we're here. So what do I want to do tonight? First of all, welcome you all to this lovely evening, and hopefully I'll be able to answer any of your questions. My goal for today is to prepare us for the exam, which is a week from tonight. It is in person, and I'll answer all your questions. What I also want to do is give you a review sheet tonight to prepare you that you can do between now and Monday to do the precursory work and the study. And then on Monday, ask me any particular questions that you find that are not clear to you. Deal? And also what I'd like to do, Garen, is to go over basically the assignments in that we had for backtesting and strategy analyzer for backtesting and optimization, and know the differences. Because if I asked you in this case, Garen, what is the differences between backtesting and what we did in the beginning and backtesting with the strategy analyzer and optimization, I want you to be able to articulate that well. And hopefully we'll get it done for tonight. Okay, any other questions that I need to deal with? And then we'll look at the assignments. So I think, Daniel, we'll look at the assignments near the end of the session so we can see what are the areas, and then I'll do some reviews.
Most people seem to have it pretty good.
Okay, good. And then we'll do the second. Okay, perfect. So everybody is logging in. Some are taking longer than others. I know it's a time. Okay, so let's get going, right? And Sophie and Daniel, thank you again for sharing, and other people that want to unmic themselves, they can, or they can put it in the chat. Either way that you feel comfortable. Okay, so you can see that we have our YouTube. You see myself getting settled, and you see it's powered by Zoom. Okay, so we've done that, and we talked about it, that later on we'll go over creating playlists and creating podcasts, making an RSS feed, seeing how that could be useful for us in our way that we want to do it. Okay, so let's go to our Blackboard. We've already been on Zoom. And again, let me make it clear that if you ever send me any emails, make sure that you also say what section you're in so we can have it. So let's go to what's due. Everybody go to what's due. And under what's due for tonight, which is everybody go to what's due. And if I look at tonight of Wednesday, February 28th, we had an automated trading systems back testing exercise where our objective, and this is what's going to be important, and make sure this is done, that we want to discover the highest percent net profitable public company symbol. So if you have a negative overall, you should try another symbol to get a positive, at least a positive overall. We've had a lot of people have issues, me as myself too. It looks like last year, if we looked at that 365, our shorts in this type of sample moving average 1025 has difficulties with shorts. The shorts seem to come out negative, but our overall, that's what we're looking for. On Monday, I've asked you to do this SMA backtest and optimizer, an optimization. And in that backtest, what I asked you to do is not just do 1025, but to do a range. And to do the, not a range in the back test, I wanted you to do a 1025, but instead of one symbol, I wanted you to do a group of symbols. And for the optimization, instead of doing 1025, do a range. So you can see in this case, which was attached by Dylan, he did a back test of 30, Dow 30, and he came up of 1025, and he came up with AXP having 30.9%. And then he had an optimization where the highest net profit was using an optimization where where it was I believe, this is confusing, isn't it? We'll have to go in and we need to change it of what was the fast and what was the slow. So can you do me a favor, Daniel? Download this optimization of Dylan's
Okay.
and see, it should be, what was his fast? I don't know what 6-15 was in this.
I think those were his parameters in the
1625. Yeah,
optimization.
that's his parameters. But what was, when he got NVIDIA, what was his best parameter? It's not clear.
Let me check.
Just check while I'm going through that. Okay. While Daniel's checking that, do you understand how that's confusing when you read it, Daniel?
Yeah, no, I do. I think mine is correct in the
Okay, but
what's
just
actually-
check if change that for Dylan, since we were able to
Okay, yeah. Well, actually, I can't change on the what's due.
no, but at least look at it. You
Yeah,
can
yeah,
download it.
Yeah.
You know what I
It
mean?
was VBA.
Yeah, but just put it in the notes. We'll change it later. You know what I
Okay.
mean? But I just want to let you know. Okay, so let's do this on Wednesday, March 6th. Does everybody see that? So, Sophia, do you see that? Sophie, do you see it? Wednesday, March 6th. Everybody,
Are you talking to me?
yeah, Sophie.
Okay, yeah.
Everybody see the review? Everybody download the review exam doc. And this is what you should get. Where what I've given you is a list of terms for the exam and a list of questions. So the exam covers chapters 1, 4, 5, TG1, TG2, plus data and automated trading systems. The exam is next Wednesday. It'll take place in the School of Business in room SBA 204 PC Lab. So when you get out of the elevators on the second floor of the undergraduate, it's just right around the corner there. Try to come 5 to 10 minutes early. Be there. Don't come on, not like here where we're all kind of straggling in. Bring a pictured ID. Bring your laptop. And bring, of course, your phone. I usually don't have to tell people to bring their phone, but the reason I'm asking you to bring your phone is, guess what? We have that duo that in order to get into Blackboard, we need to have your phone. Once you get into your test, you will then be putting your phone away. On your laptop, we'll be using the PC's computers, but you're bringing your laptop just in case we have issues. Guess what? We have issues. I cannot control our issues, but I can control our backup procedures. So we're going to have backup procedures that everybody has their own laptop that they're going to bring, and you'll have respondents installed just in case. The test will be 2 parts. There'll be one part that will be like your quizzes. It will be multiple choice, true, false. Once you finish that, you will log in again. You will then log in again, and you will have a second part where you'll have 2 open-ended questions. The multiple choice will cover the chapters similar to what you had. Some people ask me, will it be the same? There'll be similar types of questions, but there also will be different questions that you will have, and they will cover basically these terms. From hardware, right, the RAMs versus the RAMs, to infrastructure versus data versus social engineering, data warehouses, all of these. What I'd like you to do is go through, make sure you know these definitions, but also possibly ways that it can be applied. So for instance, when we have this one, for instance, data versus information versus knowledge, that not only do you know what the definition is, but can understand the examples of what would be data versus what could be information, what could be knowledge. All of these, you can look them up either through the text, of course, or other ways that you can look them up. Right here, this is from the Wiley book. Right here are what I asked you before. Some of you have read them, that you'll have to reread them. Some of you will read it for the first time. But these are web links that I want you to read. One is automated trading systems, the pros and the cons, basic algorithmic trading, the concepts and examples. The other one is backtesting and optimization. There's one on backtesting, there's one on optimization, one on moving average. What is a simple moving average? What's the purpose? How does a fast moving average differ from a slow? Here is the, right here is the link. Right here. Here are examples of open-ended questions. What are automated trading systems? what are advantages and disadvantages? What's a simple moving average? What's its purpose? How does a fast moving average differ from a slow? What are the characteristics of backtesting and optimization on automated trading systems? Here's one, given examples of trading rules and strategies we used in class for backtesting and optimization. Define an algorithm and algorithmic audit trading systems. How does it differ from traditional manual trading? Here's one, describe the pros and cons of automated trading systems and give examples you use from NinjaTrader platform. Define big data, explain how automated trading systems are good examples of the characteristics of big data. Use NinjaTrader platform in your examples. Here's what is a simple moving average? What is its purpose? How does a fast differ from the slow? And probably we could add there, it's give examples. So in any of the questions I'll ask you, and I'm going to ask you too, what it will be is to also show examples from your work with in class and outside of class in your exercises. I will choose two. There can be so many open-ended questions. I feel it's only fair to give you what were the readings and what are open-ended questions I could ask you. They will not differ from these. So, Sophie, is there any questions that I need to answer about that?
I don't see any,
Okay. Do you have any?
not at the moment.
Good. So basically, what I'd like you to do in the whole class is to prepare. And on Monday, I will do a more rigorous review, but I'll start off with your specific questions. Rather than in the beginning, for instance, Garen, if you didn't prepare, it's like, I don't even know what to ask. And I will then emphasize what you don't understand. Why should I go through things that you understand? If everybody understands it, why waste our time? That's how I kind of figure it. And let's go through where we're having problems. Any questions about that? So I'm giving this to you ahead of time, I think. So this way, between now and Monday, you can do it. And Monday we'll use it for a review. Okay? Now, what I'd like is I said today, this was due today at February 28th, this automated trading backtesting exercise. I'm extending this exercise till tonight at midnight. Since I didn't see it, and if you can do a better job than what you've done, I'm giving you till midnight. So we'll be finishing in about less than an hour. If you want to go back and improve this, you have an opportunity to improve it. Okay? Now, let me close this and go to K Audit. Go to Groups. And if I go to the trading strategy exercise, we have two exercises. We have backtesting of a single company. And this is what yours should look like. Of demonstrating how backtesting a single ticker using SMA, which stands for sample moving average crossover, that has two moving averages. One is a 10-day moving average, since we're using end of day data, and 25. And what is slow and what is fast? The idea of fast is how quickly, compared one to the other, can I get the average? So 10 days I can get quicker than 25. So SMA 10 is going to be the fast, and SMA 25 is going to be the slow. And you can see here, the symbol in this case of Daniel was DXCM using 1025. And notice overall he got 100.28. Longs were good at 49 and short. And then our next assignment, which is due on Monday, some of you have already done it, was the strategy analyzer, using the strategy analyzer of backtesting and optimization. And in this exercise, put a note that you're going to be looking at several symbols at a time. Rather than picking and choosing one at a time, which is very tedious, is what we're trying to do is have the machine automate many of these. So what we can do is you can make your own symbol block. So if I was interested in pharmaceuticals, I could research and find all the pharmaceutical companies' symbols and put them in a list. And NinjaTrader would allow me to put it in my own list, and I could call them pharmaceuticals. Or by default, it gives me already the Dow 30 or the NASDAQ 100. So I said use one of those. So basic demonstration how to use the strategy analyzer tool with NinjaTrader to backtest a number of symbols, optimize a single company, and then the optimization part is when we use 1025 right here. And you should also, Daniel, if you don't mind, is put in the SMA crossover for Dylan's part too.
Sure, sure.
Right? So that it's consistent. So in this case of the 1025, we can say maybe 10 and 25 are not really the best. This is just by default. The system gave it to us. How about 925? How about 825? How about 725? Give me all the combinations of a range of fast and a range of slow, and try to find me the best. Because really, what's our goal? Our goal is to find is the highest net profit. We want to maximize our profits, not minimize it, and try to do it as systematic as possible. And you'll see more and more these systems were going to be automated. And how does AI come about, or machine learning, is it will start looking for patterns and pick for us even later on other strategies. We're still keeping it simple here, using still, Sophie, the SMA crossover. But later on, it could come up with its own, another type of strategy. But right now, we're using that. Questions? Any questions, Sophie, I need to address?
No.
Okay, so now what I'm going to do, and I want the whole class to do this with me, is I want to go to our regular section and go to web links. And in web links, I want to use our Azure Virtual Lab. And our Azure Virtual Lab, Azure is part of Microsoft's cloud services that give a lot of services. One, they give hardware, they give software, they give also a service of doing analytics, machine learning. So we'll, in another tab, we'll open up that link in another tab. We've already done it. So if I asked you even about, this stands for virtual desktop infrastructure, that instead of using my machine, I can use other machines, and we've already set this up to allow our local resources, and we're connecting to our student VDI. And we've set this up that the university has given our credentials, which give us authorization, and they authenticate us to use these systems, since they don't want everybody to use it, and they're basically, Microsoft is charging for those services. And we're using a system where Microsoft has then installed Windows, and the university has installed on that Windows, it is installed NinjaTrader 8 64-bit. I'm going to right click so I can open NinjaTrader. I could have done it on premises or done it in the lab. I'm just using it here, so we get experiences of what does it mean to use when Azure Virtual Desktop. We see that NinjaTrader is loading. It's giving me some tips. I don't want those tips. And the first thing I want to do, Garen, is what?
Connect the data,
Connect to data. And what kind of data do I want to connect to? You're on a roll.
end of day.
End of day. So we understand this already, that when we're describing it for an exam, Garen, that you understand that it's a great example for big data, right? We can do end of day, we can do it for a number of them. Okay. Now what I'm going to do here, Garen, is a bit different than what I did before. Our first assignment, I used the chart, so we could actually see a chart of the SMA 2 moving averages, remember? And we could actually see where it was making those rules, right? Of when the SMA was crossing above, we would do something. And if the SMA was crossing below, we could do something, right? And you remember when we went to Ninja Script Editor, let's see if it comes up. Everything is slow here. You remember, if I go to strategies, Garen, and I go, which strategy are we using entirely in this class? Is sample MA crossover. So put in your notes there, right? That's all we're using. These are all built in. We could have created our own, or we could modify the sample crossover with a wizard to get out the shorts, but I'm going to use this. I know when I looked at this, I definitely want to make this larger in type, right? That I definitely want my text editor font to be not 13, but let's say 35, and say okay. And now we can look at it. This right now, this is a good review for us. This is called source code. Garen, this is called source code that later on, Daniel, the CEO of NVIDIA, said there won't be a need for programming.
Yeah, he thinks AI can
Right.
bridge
And
that
it can
gap.
already. And we can do it. That you can basically, now there's some mistakes in it, but really what I think people will be doing is training the systems, looking at the systems, and a lot of the coding the system can do, right? Because there are rules there, right? Doesn't it make sense, Daniel, that what I need to redo it, and it becomes tedious? Is what's important is for me to come up with the creative ideas that I want to check the systems. So I think it probably still would be, you won't have, I think you'll still have people that know coding. You won't maybe have as many, but you still sometimes want to check the code. You'll need somebody to check the coding.
Mhm.
You understand, or something. But we can see here already, even though most of you are not, don't know coding, but still, if you look at the code here, you can see here, this really right here on line 42 says fast equals 10. So if you wanted it to be 5, you could change it there. If you wanted 25 to be slow, you could change it there. But right here is the key. And the key becomes right here. You see this is the key. This, right? These lines are the rules. These are the rules saying what? These are the rules for the algorithm. What makes a strategy are built in rules. When to enter, trade, when to exit, trade, for example. So at this case, you need to know, I will not ask you, give me the Ninja script code, but you need to know in words, for example, if the SMA fast crosses above the SMA slow, what should we do? Buy, for instance. Else, if the SMA fast crosses below the SMA slow, what should we do, Garen?
So,
Short. Because short is a little bit different. We can exit and then enter a short, meaning we think it's going to go down. But, Garen, we could just say when that happens, since our shorts, you're on a roll, Garen, if basically our shorts for a lot of times were not good. So we could change the code and just say, just like you do, exit. Sell and exit. That's the rule. You with me, Garen?
yep.
Good. Next, I am going to do all of our exercises now, not using the chart, but doing everything with the strategy analyzer. That's my goal right now. So I know I already have data. So you can follow me. Everybody can follow me. I'm going to new strategy analyzer. And I'm going to do all 3 exercises using strategy analyzer. We'll see if it comes up. A little bit slow, isn't it? So hopefully I can use it. Right? Okay, it came up. Perfect. Everybody with me? I'm on Strategy Analyzer. And I have under, you see the Sophie under Backtest type? My choices are Backtest and optimization, walk forward optimization. We haven't done that, Sophie, but walk forward. Backtest means what? I'm looking in the back. I'm looking at history. Optimization, I'm also looking at history. Walk forward optimization is I'm looking in the future. Multi-objective optimization, I'm going to be using a number of factors. And notice on the bottom here, AI basically allowing me to have the system generate new strategies. Right now, Sophie, what do I have in the middle of my table? What values?
In the middle is all trades and long trades.
Right, and what numbers do I have?
0.
0. I have my data connected, so why do I have zeros in Strategy Analyzer in the beginning? Because I have not selected an instrument. So it works a little bit different, the Strategy Analyzer. When I was doing my chart, if I didn't see, if I saw zeros, I would be afraid that I didn't connect. Here, I just have zeros because I haven't looked at, I haven't selected an instrument. So here, the strategy, Sophie, I'm going to choose what?
Optimization.
Well, right now I'm just going to do backtest. I'm going to do it like I'm doing the first for the backtest type. I'm just using backtest. I'm going to do the first exercise this way. I'm going to choose backtest, but the strategy, I'm pulling down the strategy. What strategy should I use? Optimization is a backtest type. What strategy? What did we say we're always going to use? Sample MA crossover. Now, my strategy parameters in the first and in the second assignment is 1025. I'm leaving it here. My instrument for the second exercise was selecting the Dow 30 or the NASDAQ 100 or the S&P 500, right? But right now, I'm going to do the first exercise. So instead of selecting one, I can select one symbol. So I'm just going to select, in this case, Dow. But you could select, I could go to the Dow 30 and select any. I could select CAT or any of them. I'm going to select right now, since I've done it before, Dow. My type, Garen, it says minute. Is that what I want?
Day.
What?
You want on day.
I want it on day. And right here it says year to date. What do I want? I want to compare. I want 365, right? So I want, in this case, I want from last year, February. And what day is it? Let's do the 27th. Perfect. And what do I need? Here I don't need to enable. Here I'm just doing a strategy looking at it. So here I do not need enable. When I'm using my chart, I need to enable. Here I don't. So how do I run this, Garen?
You hit run on the bottom.
I just hit run in the mode. How many times is it going to run? It's going to run once. Now, depending what I have percent. Make sure right here that you have it set as percent because I want to do comparisons. And notice overall I got 36%. My longs were 78. So who were my losers? My shorts. So later on, I would probably, Garen, if you had to write about it, you would change this strategy. 1025 works fine for a year for Dell, but I would take out the shorts. Remember how you said exit or sell? That's what I would do. I wouldn't short. Make sense, Garen?
Yep.
So now let's go to the next part. I'm already in Strategy Analyzer. This is the part that's due on Monday. So if you haven't done it for Monday, just do it now and you finish it, right? Don't you want to do that? Garen, let's be efficient, right? So now for my instrument, instead of Dell, I'm going to keep everything the same. Backtest, sample MA crossover, that's my strategy. 1025, my instrument, Garen, is going to be what? I'm going to choose one of either a Dow 30 or NASDAQ 100 or an S&P 500. So let me choose NASDAQ 100. You can choose whatever you want.
So if
And
we're following along with you right now, this assignment that we were like, this what we're doing is the assignment that's due on Wednesday. I mean next
We're
Monday.
due on Monday.
Okay, so this is completely different than what we did that was due today, right?
What?
This is completely different than what we did
Yes,
that was
yes.
due today. Yeah, all right.
What we did today?
No, like
That
what we
was
did,
due
like
today?
yeah. Okay, I got it. Thanks.
You can respond, but no, the only difference is this, what I did before with Dell, is the exact assignment that was due today. The only difference is I did the assignment via the chart. But I'm telling you, who was asking me that? Who was just speaking? Anyways, so let me now change instead of Dell. I want to do the NASDAQ, and I want to select all. So I have NASDAQ 100 for the instrument. I have a year. And now what do I want to do? Garen, are you with me, Garen?
Yep. Hit run.
Hit run. And how many times will it do it?
A lot.
NASDAQ 100, how many times?
I think we did it last time. It might be like 1,000.
How many symbols are in the NASDAQ 100?
100.
100. We're still using the same 1025.
Oh, I see.
I love it when you say I see. So how many times?
100.
Yeah. Instead of you telling you, Karen, why don't you go through the NASDAQ 100 and pick 100 of them and see which one is the best and save each spreadsheet as a time.
Take a lot of time.
Right. And let's say we have 500, and let's say you want to check it every day. Or let's say we are, right? So we want to automate that. And now this one, we have a couple of them that are we had 104 of them in the NASDAQ 100 because some of them they duplicated. And we get it as 100 times. And notice, let the computer do the work, not me. This is for Monday's assignment. Do you see that? Be interesting, Danielle, if you got the 500, does it still not work? We'll see. So Now, this is the problem right here. This is the quirk, Garen. On the top, you see here, they have listed a number. On here, it's 1. Right here on the top, you see this, Sophie? I have a top pane here of more than 100 symbols. They're all 1025. The problem is it says it's in dollars. You see that, Sophie?
Yes.
I need to change it to what?
Percent.
Percent. There's a quirk, even though it says here summary percent. You see under display? This was percent, but the top wasn't. It's a quirk. So put this in your notes. In the strategy analyzer for a number of stocks, selecting a number of the symbols, I have to change the display to currency. And then I have to go back and change it again to percent. And now I see percent. You see that gross profit? I see percent. And now I want to do descending order of the total net profit. I want to see for this, for instance, Apple, for this 1025, it was a disaster. So I want to then double click the total net profit. I want to click it and I see already DXCM is 101%. The next one is, it looks like Moderna, maybe that is, mRNA is 59. And
Yeah, that's Moderna.
and Tesla is 38. So what do I need to do now, Garen? I want to take this
Export it.
top pane and I want to export it to a spreadsheet. So what do I do? Garen,
Right click it.
right click it and look for what?
Export.
Export. And in export right there, basically you're going to then put then what? That you use the SMA 1025, use the NASDAQ 100, and what was it, Dylan, Daniel? It was what? DX, what was the symbol?
DXCM. DXCM.
XCM, and what was the percentage, the overall?
I think it was 101 point something.
101%. Better than what I had in my first exercise. So in my first exercise, usually I would get the same or lower, right? DXCM, and then I would put my name. Questions? Sophie, we have any questions?
No.
I take this, copy it to my buffer. I say save, and what should happen, Garen? Excel should come up, right? I should, at this point, highlight the first line, insert, paste what I had in the buffer, rename, and then highlight also I can even highlight my first 3 if I want, right? Just whatever. Or even highlight this one, right? So you can see already 59 and 1025 fast, slow, rename it. What is it? It's, in this case, 101. It's really 102, but 101%. And save it, right, Garen? File save to where? You can save it to the OneDrive, University of Miami, and then upload. That's the first part. You got it, Garen?
Got it.
Okay, I've done it before, so it says you want to replace. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this. I saved it already. And now I'm going to continue on the second part. What's the second part? Instead of backtest, it's optimization. And optimization, this, as soon as I did optimization, look here, Sophie, it says fast. And it gives me my minimum, my maximum, and my increment. The slow, it sets up with the minimum and maximum. By default, it gives me the same minimum and maximum. But here, what I want to say is 1025 parameters, Sophie, may not be the best. It probably isn't, just by fact. And we could do even many ranges. We could go from, let's say, to 5 to 25, and then the other one could be 50 to 100. You can decide later on, the system, the AI could tell you what would probably be the best ranges to look at. But for this exercise, you choose the ranges, and the ranges should be different. The fast should be smaller than my slows. So I'm going to do 10, 5, 10, and then maybe I'll do, in this case, for my minimum here, maybe I'll just do 20, 25 or 25, 30. You can just decide whatever you want. I have NASDAQ 100. I have day. Do I have a year? Yes, I have a year. So in this case, Garen, I have 100. I'm using NASDAQ 100, but I'm using different combinations. 520, 620, 720, 820, 920, 1020, then 521, 621. Can you imagine you having to run it all those different combinations? Of course, it's going to be more than 100. That's what you were confused about, Garen, right? So what do I need to do? I run it. Of course, it's going to be more than 100. In this case, how many will it be? 3,144. And in this case, it's slow because we don't have a lot of memory. Our CPUs are probably small. We're also doing it with a virtual desktop. But can you imagine? This may take me a minute, or 2 minutes, but it definitely is not going to be the time in which I would have to do it physically. And once that would be done, right? Once that would be done, then what would be the next thing I would do? Make sure that it's in percentage. And then do what, Garen?
Export it.
To what? Excel? Insert the line and you finished. Is that clear? So now notice, since I had done it percentage before, right? Since I'm doing it in one pass, you see right here, I have it in percent, so I don't have to make any changes. My apple is still a loser. So what do I want to do? I just want to click on this to get my positives up here. And now I see, instead of basically, I now have 112. In this case, 112.50. And what do I need to do? It's Myrna 150. I just export it. I don't have to do it right. I export it, give it the name of the S&P, right? What I used, what my ranges were, my Myrna of 112, and insert it. I don't need to go through all those steps, do I? Karen?
Should we label like what we had our ratios for our
Yeah,
strat
well,
for like our
yeah,
fast and for our slow?
exactly. Perfect. So write it down, right? That I did 5:10, yes, 2025. Or you could do 5:15, you decide. Whatever you use for your min max, you want to write it down. And then you also want to write down what was the best, and the best was 6:24. You see, among what I chose. Because it's important to know what the min max, because somebody else could do completely different and get better than 112. And you may want to even play around with it and see, can I get higher than that? Questions? So at this point, if I wanted to cancel, I exported everything, I uploaded it. This is due on Monday. Those are the two parts that I have on Monday. You've finished in this case. I stop sharing. If I share again, what do I want to do? I want to close out. I don't want to do no. I want to exit elegantly. So I go to power. Right when I hit disconnect, and I've disconnected. So if I look at, so I've disconnected there. And I look at strategy analyzer. You can see here the backtesting strategy of that SMA crossover. It's 1025. This will be 1025 for everyone. But notice, this is beautiful. Use Daniels, which was great here. You see how he has strategy crossover. Now this makes sense. He used fast 525 and he used slow 25-200. And did you use NASDAQ? What did you use?
NASDAQ, yeah.
So put NASDAQ. I would put NASDAQ in there too.
Okay.
Did you put NASDAQ 100 so you know that that was the group of stocks that I was using? It's
Oh,
important.
I should have another one for optimization of NASDAQ.
Okay, but anyways, put it in so
I'll add
people
it.
can see. Add it here, the strategy,
Yes,
fast, slow, NASDAQ 100, that's what you chose.
I
And
got
what
it.
did he find as the top 3 parameters? Notice here. What is this 198? Who is this? What symbol is this?
These were all on the single ticker. This was NVIDIA. So the
So
NASDAQ part I need to add.
yeah, so it's NVIDIA. So he
Yeah,
got NVIDIA of 198, much better than what I got for Myrna of
that was because it
Moderna
was
for
optimized.
112.
Yeah.
So what I do for the Wiley Plus, for instance, on security, I'll just give you that example on security.
There,
Is
I
it
updated it, Professor.
perfect? So everybody can see it. Thank you so much. What we can see here is, in order to study, people wanted to know, study in Wiley Plus, everybody did the adaptive assignment. In Wiley Plus, if you click on any chapter, you'll see flashcards. If you want more ways to practice on multiple choice, you can go to flashcards, quiz, and then you can get quizzes. So it says a process that encrypts each packet to be sent and places each encrypted packet inside another packet. In this case, if I, for instance, clicked on something and submit, it tells me I'm correct, and then I can move on. You see here, it gives me 63 questions that I can look at. So anyways, and then you can see, and I say, okay. And I can go on to the next one, and it will give me another. So likelihood that a threat will occur, then I can click. Another thing that you can do as well is when I go to any of the text, besides looking at the PowerPoints, as you can see here, you have the diagrams and figures. One figure that's important in chapter 4 is table 4.2. So make sure in, table 4.2, where it talks about the type of software attacks, where you have remote attacks requiring some user action, where you have viruses, worms, phishing attacks that's going to basically masquerade as an official email, spear phishing that will even be more exact, will target a group of people, whaling attack, which will target high value individuals. You will have remote attacks that need no new user action, denial of service, distributed denial of service, and then you have something done by a programmer, where you'll have a Trojan horse, a backdoor, or a logic bomb. The logic bomb giving me some timing where at a certain time something will be destroyed, or in this case, it will hide in a Trojan horse, it'll hide in another computer program. And then what's important is you have to have, once I know that I'm could possibly be attacked, I want to have some controls. I want to have physical controls, just like locks, physical controls, like I lock my door, I lock my car, right? Versus access controls that what they're trying to do for us, right? Certain authorization determines which actions, rights, or privileges the person has. Just like my audit section. My audit section, you have different rights and privileges than you do in the student section. That's authorization. And then authentication, right? It can be biometrics. It can be, when we're using that Duo, communication controls, everything to help me minimize my mitigation. My virtual private networks, where what I'm going to be doing there, rather than going through the regular internet, I can have my organization where I can talk to another organization with encryption. Here you have the summary, and that's what I would do in each chapter as well. If you want to do it, read the summary and understand the summary. Identify the 5 factors that contribute to increased vulnerability. Of course, it's being connected, everything. It doesn't need much to be a computer hacker. Can you imagine when AI is really going to be there? They don't even have to copy code. This is where the scary part is. And then we need basically AI to discover the hackers, right? Everybody's going to be using it. And then what is social engineering? You need to know basically via social skills, trying to get humans to give up information. 10 types of deliberate attacks. Here, what do we want to do with controls? We want to do risk mitigation. In risk mitigation, we just can accept the risk, or you can limit our risk, or we can transfer. Risk transference. What is an example of risk transference? Insurance. The university has insurance for being breached. You know that? A number of companies do. And then there's another one, identify 3 major types of controls in the organization: the physical controls, the access controls, and the communication controls. That's what I would do for each chapter. So what do you think, Garen? Did that help tonight?
Yep.
Go through now you've already, you basically have done your assignments. Tonight's assignment, we've extended it till midnight when you want to clean it up. Have it look like, Daniel, thank you very much for giving a sample for everybody.
Yeah, of course.
And then we'll proceed. Stay with me if you have extra questions. And I'll stay with you as long as you need to. I'm going to do attendance now, and I'll stay with you as long as you need me. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to go to section K. I'm going to go to attendance. I'm going to check in. Start checking. 7442, 7442. If you got that and you're loaded in, you're fine. Otherwise, stay with me and I'll answer any questions on the next time we meet, and then I'll go through in more depth a review for the exam. So come
Thank
with
you.
your questions. And thank you, Sophie, for taking over of moderating. I appreciate it. And thank you, of course, every time, Daniel, for being such a good example and being so generous with your time. Okay, so
Hi.
everybody got this?
I'm sorry I'm staying longer. It doesn't work for me. I don't know why.
What
So I
doesn't
may
work?
take like 2 more minutes
What's not
You could
working?
just do it manually, right?
to check in.
The check-in?
Yeah.
Or you
You're
have to
not
end it
getting it
first,
or what?
I don't know why it's not like
Okay, well,
done.
let me
Yeah.
just put it in for you. It'll just be easier.
And also
Hold on, let me just
there's
find you.
another day that it says that I missed, like the
Okay,
last text, but I didn't. I was
okay,
here.
okay, so let me just do this one. And which one was that?
The February 21st. Yeah.
What? I just need to see where it is. February 21st, okay. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Ciao.
Thank you. Have a
Let me,
good one.
yeah, let me stop sharing. Then let me close out my recordings. Stop, 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 stop.